are you feeling today?
Feeling great, and feeling great about these two winners semifinal series. Oh my goodness. And the one in front of us on our screen now is a rematch from the Halo World Championships in Seattle, where Native Red actually took a game off of OpTic and looked primed for an upset. OpTic ultimately going on to hoist that trophy and win that World Championship. But it's a new season and it's a new start here as we hop on board with the MVP Lucid.
King of the Hill live fire is where this best of 5 is going to kick off. Lucid hanging out on sandbags. There's 2 targets in front of him. He's going to come out with the assist and the kill, but all 4 going down. Talik is the last man standing, and he uses that time to pick up the sniper rifle before regaining top mid control. He's watching for those respawners. He's setting up kills for his teammates.
Like a mosh pit at a metal concert, everybody going down in that opening sequence as Talik is the last lone survivor, has the sniper rifle. As a result, looking to make good use of it. APG on the flank. Now it's Talik on the flank instead as he takes down APG easily. Trippy doing a great job to clean that up and drop that sniper rifle. Druck picking up that overshield, which is really crucial after everybody went down. Talik might have missed that overshield. Instead, Druck picking it up, but all 3 now going down. Talik again, the last member alive for Native Red, and now OpTic starts the scoring.
I don't think the overshield had spawned in quite yet when Talik was last alive, which is why he kind of rotated over for the sniper. But now we follow the path of that sniper into the hands of Formal. He gets 1 body shot. I believe it was on Manny. Manny is milking his life there at the back of B. Neither team with any significant time on the hill. They're really playing for positioning and utility. And here comes the push. Druck storms the castle and he gets the goods, burning off the last round of that sniper so that he can focus on the Heatwave BR combo.
I like that quick decision there by Druck. Didn't even think about it. Let that ammo deplete so he could, like you said, Magic, focus on this utility. But the duo of Lucid and Formal is too much, as now you've got a roaming Lucid with that heat wave. One of the big reasons why he was the MVP last year is because of his proficiency with this weapon right here. Let's see what he's able to do with it.
BR is going to find its mark, and the next overshield is the item up for grabs. And throughout the start of this game, I see players time and time again prioritizing positioning, prioritizing equipment. In this hill, I don't know, it might be feeling a little bit neglected here on Valentine's Day weekend because neither team is giving it the attention it deserves. Finally, Native Red have a defensive lockdown, but Lucid might be the answer to that. Heat wave rolling through, killing spree in hand.
And there's an answer to that question we asked. What's he going to do with it? A killing spree for Lucid, but a cap for Native Red is, like you said, Magic, OpTic Gaming really prioritizing the sandbox and positioning on the map. Surprisingly, though, it doesn't lead to really almost no points for them in that first sequence, as Native Red looking dominant here so far as another 3 down for OpTic Gaming.
Those have been trading back and forth right now. Lucid and Talik leading the way for their respective teams. On board with APG, finds a nice kill at the top of tower. Looking at that sniper, but Soul Snipe very aware of APG's position. The frag grenade flushes him out of cover. The sniper's still up for grabs. I think Soul Snipe just snuck away with it off of that frag kill. Formal trying to contest, doesn't get there in time.
Formal, the GOAT, now pushing up with his teammate Trippy. Looking to take down that tower. Now that tower control leads to hill control for OpTic, so going to be a key pivotal focus here as Trippy starts the action with the plasma pistol. Takes down 1, but only able to take down the shields of Talik as he now has the heat wave. And Native Red Magic, despite having 3 down, are still scoring and still looking strong.
Objective efficiency is what you love to see from this Native Red roster. They're coming out, firing on all cylinders. Lucid is approaching the tower, but watch out because there's a repulsor in Talik's back pocket. He doesn't need it for the kill onto Formal. The commando is going to get the job done. Talik's going to escape with his life. Soul Snipe is on the hunt. Where he fills in, where Talik left off, Soul Snipe takes down Lucid. OpTic are caught in a blender, and they're down 2 captures.
Wow, Talik taking on Lucid and Formal in a 1v2. Doesn't ultimately get 2, but his teammate Soul Snipe picks it up for the collective 2. Unbelievable answer there from Native Red when you look at the odds of winning a battle like that. As Formal going down again. Does Lucid go down again right here? OpTic Gaming starting off incredibly slow, and it's not even so much that OpTic Gaming is starting off slow. It's that Native is red hot.
Can we just say Tolic, 15 and 4, make it 16, the double kill with the heat wave assist as well. It could have been a triple, but hey, it's a win is a win is a win when the assist comes through the scoreboard. Plenty of ammo left in that heat wave, and Tolic just is not resting. Every time he gets one takedown, he's immediately looking for the next. He has single-handedly been a factor in 21 slays, and we're only in the early stages of this game.
Magic, there are 3 minutes still on the clock and 3 on the scoreboard for Native Red. This is absolute domination, the likes of which we haven't seen against the defending world champs OpTic Gaming, as time after time the numbers advantage is in favor of Native Red. So too is the score. APG looking to change that here. Finally has that heat wave back in control of OpTic Gaming. We saw Lucid with the killing spree earlier. Since then, it's been all Native Red.
Here comes Lucid. Commando use, gonna be enough for a kill. Watch out for that overshield, just spawning, I believe, 10 seconds away. Lucid's gonna get some time onto the hill. Watch out, the push coming from the back of tower. Lucid kind of debating, trying to milk some cover. Has to hop out of the hill for a brief moment. Trades out with a teammate, watching Keydor. Here's Soul Snipe pushing aggressively. Lucid slides out of the way of the shot and then re-engages to clean up the melee kill. That's a little bit more of what we expect, but even in that fight, Native somehow rotate behind. They get the overshield, they get the hill, and Lucid is trying to do everything to stop the bleeding.
I can't remember a time we've seen Lucid on the broadcast hitting spree after spree after spree, but the score does not reflect what we're seeing from Lucid. Things seem out of sorts right now with OpTic Gaming, but Magic, we mentioned 3 scores with 3 minutes left. OpTic has 1 minute each to try to tie this one up and send us to a sudden death. The path to a comeback is there, and it lies in the hands of Lucid with the sniper.
Saw the killing spree from Lucid. He really does look like he's been having to carry the weight of this game on his shoulders. The first capture coming through. That's what OpTic needed to see. It's getting desperate for them in this game. The one thing in their favor, though, when a player is on the hill, the clock stops, but Lucid is being stopped as well. Natives shift their attention, and they team fire until he is taken down.
And here's where a little bit of decision making is going on in the headsets of Native Red. Up 2 with a little over 2 minutes to go. They have to decide, do they want to play Slayer, do they want to play for the hill, or do they want to play a little bit of a hybrid? I am going to go with that hybrid strategy here, as we see a few points there for Native Gaming. There's still enough time still for OpTic Gaming to come back. So because of that, we're going to see Native Red still play for that hill control.
Definitely think Native Red want to get that 4 points across the board. I mean, a win is a win one way or the other, but right now you see Tolic getting more time on the board. He has 23 slays, only 9 deaths, and happy to get some objective time as well, whatever's needed. Even on this fight, he rushes top mid, he comes out with a trade. APG now is trying to fill in. Look at the dozen assists on APG, but he's gonna need to try to survive on the hill if the OpTic is gonna keep getting back into this game. Luckily, there we go. Lucid with overshield, Trippy pushing tower, and then Formal covering on the sandbag side, but that's where the push is gonna come through. APG has to dip out of that hill to stay alive.
OpTic starting to put it together on the brink of making this a one-hill game and putting that pressure back on Native Red. Another killing spree here for OpTic Gaming, this time for Trippy, and it's looking like it should secure that second hill.
Well, we saw Lucid getting heated up earlier. Now we're seeing Trippy heating up in this game. But no! How did Tolic hit that melee? I thought he was right in front of Trippy. Heat wave damage ready to come through, and Tolic with some kind of a slide to get the melee kill. Honestly, impressive. I need a slow-mo of that one.
Great start here for Native Red on this hill, especially when you consider that it's been all OpTic for the last 2. Tolic going down at the nest side. That's a key anchor point that Trippy's going to look to take over. Instead, he's going to push through the pillars. Manny doesn't spot him at the big door, and the timing of that turn from Trippy is going to lead to his death. Now OpTic Gaming in a tie 3-3 situation. No numbers advantage for either squad here. Lucid going to look to change that and start the scoring here again for OpTic.
Slowly, player after player from OpTic has started to find their footing in this game, but is it too little too late? They're still one hill behind. They have a good chunk of time, but there's a player from Native Red lurking at the back of B. It's Soul Snipe. Formal gets some commando damage onto him, but receives damage in turn. Team fire comes through. Trippy is holding down this B pillar side. Getting some really nice crossfire was enough to clean up that kill on Soul Snipe.
Ooh, and this is crucial. The overshield is up in 5. OpTic Gaming seemingly needing 5 seconds to secure this hill. Which do they focus on here? Lucid focusing his sight on that overshield. Lands the hip shot on Soul Snipe, but it's not enough to take him down as he's now got a full overshield. But just as we said that, Magic, OpTic tie the game up at 3. They're on a tear.
And I think OpTic have adjusted. They learned from their mistake in the early stages of the game where they prioritized the sandbox, the equipment over the objective. And on this pop of overshield, OpTic really showing that they're giving that attention to the hill. So is the trade-off worth it is the question. Here comes Formal, Plaza pistol in hand, can immediately eliminate the overshield. He finds 1 kill with it. Soul Snipe was the player with the overshield. I'm not sure if he has any left of it to work with. Here comes the wave of OpTic Gaming, the green wall, storming the castle, and they are back in their true form.
Good teams make adjustments and adapt in between games. Great teams make those adjustments in the game. We're seeing that from OpTic Gaming. But just like that, Native Red with more points on the board, a little bit past that halfway mark. Trippy going down though at the seaside. APG as well. Now 3 down for OpTic. And Native Red with the chances to put the finishing touches on this match right here. All 4 going down for OpTic Gaming. This one's looking good for Native.
Talik with the 30 bomb and holding on to the objective. Just a few seconds remaining. I don't know if anyone on OpTic is in range, so they're throwing out the Hail Mary grenades. Trippy on Ness might be the only one, but he's too late. Native Red, 3 straight hills, and then the final hill as well. They take game 1, and this is Native Red playing at full force.
And this is exactly what we saw at the Halo World Championship just a few months ago. Native looking good against OpTic in game 1, even up in portions of that game 1. Here though, at the HCS Open Qualifier, they're able to find that 4th hill despite the absolutely insane comeback from OpTic Gaming. They were dead to rights, 3-0 down, but because they had those 3 minutes left, they used every second of it, brought it back to close, but it was Native Red able to finish off OpTic Gaming in that game 1 and now look primed for an upset.
Oh man, I cannot wait to see the rest of that series, but we have 2 matches happening side to side, and this is the SSG versus G1, the parallel matchup, the other side of the semifinals. And you know, we would love to be able to focus on one series and the other, but they're happening at the same time. So shout out to the production team here at LBT for giving us a glimpse of both matchups at the same time.
2 scores on the board for G1 and 2 great series here on LBT Halo as Eco Smith and the rest of SSG looking to find the same answer that OpTic Gaming had to find against Native Red just by the few seconds we've had here with this series. It's looking very, very similar to the one we just saw between OpTic and Native.
And I'm looking at it, you know, Talik was the big player there for Native Red on that win, and now it's Boo Boo Doo Boo, 14-5 on the side of G1, a huge factor in why we see this early lead from G1. But it does look like that 3rd hill might switch over to SSG. We're shifting our attention back to OpTic Native Red. Game number 2, we got Slayer Empyrean.
Hopping back on board here with Talik, and it's a little more of the same. A 3-1 start here. It's early in this one, but that momentum, that same energy, that same feel is carrying on over here into game 2. Lucid gonna look to make sure that stops right now. Put his foot down and put a few shots with that sniper rifle through the face of the players on Native Red. A standstill now, almost as if it was like a 45-45. Instead, 3-1 in that Magic. That tells me how much these 2 teams respect each other. That tells me how much this match means to these 2 teams.
Well, that last match, that match number 1, came down to the final hill. And so now when the teams are starting off in game 2, they don't want to be put in that position again. They know that it could come down to just one slay. In fact, OpTic Gaming maybe learned their lesson against Proton yesterday as they lost in a crazy upset game, 49-50. OpTic did go on to win that series, but when they're looking at Slayer, they don't want to let this game run away from them in the early stages and force them to come back. You're seeing a little bit of that patience. Lucid still holding on to 5 rounds in the snipe. Looks like Druck was jumping up to that top of training ledge. Might be an opportunity for Lucid. If he looks up, he hits the body shot. Can he clean up with the BR? He gets the assist. Does he get away with his life? It looks like he does. So Druck maybe a little over aggressive and Lucid able to adjust at the perfect time.
Trippy with those rockets like a checkered flag on race day, starting the race. We saw OpTic continue to swarm after those rockets, opened up the kill feed, and now opening up a lead. And that snipe shot, there we go. We were looking to see a little bit of that from Lucid. Knew we needed to see a little bit of that from Lucid if they were to come back strong here in game 2, and we're seeing a lot of that bounce back here as OpTic has now found the lead, 6-4.
He knew there was a player there top sword, but he didn't know there was a repulsor to deal with. Great adjustment there. Lucid takes down Druck yet again with the use of that sniper, and now 1 round left of the sniper, some heat wave and 3 repulses right here at the top of sword. But all you need is that final snipe round to hit a headshot kill.
Oh, and it's a beautiful drag shot there from Lucid as Soul Snipe secures these rockets. This is huge. This is a chance here for them to maximize the value of those rockets, bring it back to a tie game, but OpTic Formal has different plans. So too does Lucid as he takes down Soul Snipe and those rockets. OpTic, seemingly just like we saw with that opening break kill for Trippy earlier, uses this as the green light to go.
I lost it. Is there another rocket in play? Are they burned? I saw the one get fired off, but I'm not sure. Did you see it, Mikowski?
I think there's still 1 rocket left.
Okay. We'll keep an eye on the kill feed. Lucid finds a fresh sniper back in his hands, and he's 1 kill away from that killing spree. If Tolic peeks this corner, he might just give it to Lucid. Or is it Druck? Gotta follow up with this heat wave, and honestly, not having a BR in that scenario came back to bite Lucid. You would see the snipe body shot swap over to BR, but the heat wave didn't get the job done.
Yeah, Lucid anticipating that those shots would go down at the sword side, that we'd be able to use the tight corridors, the ricochets to land some shots instead. Druck engaging at medium range. Lucid not able to land the shots, and it looks like we have a lag out there. And a 3-1 advantage and 3 down for SSG as G1 is looking to put the finishing touches on a strong start here to game 1.
As all 4 go down for SSG, they'll have 1 more chance to make a break onto this hill, but Falcated is ready and waiting with the sniper in hand. He drops down as the pressure closes in. He has the repulsor to get right back, and there's the snipe shot connecting. There's 1, there's 2. Penguin, no, you're gonna hit the respawn screen as well. Eco, last player alive. It's not enough. G1 take game 1 in a 4-1 victory.
OpTic Gaming on the other side able to find an answer, but it wasn't enough as Native Red with the game 1 upset, and now G1 with the game 1 upset as well. 2 non-partnered teams taking down the HCS's Goliaths here. Can they finish the job? Can they win 2 more? We're gonna find that out soon enough.
Now this SSG roster, you might recognize them as Cloud9 from season 1, under a new org, but it's the same roster. So coming out being the top 1-2 teams all of last season, and G1 trying to break through to that position after upsetting FaZe. And now looking at the KDs, man, Falcated 12.7, Boo Boo Doo with a 10.0, but all players 16 to 19 is the spread of kills across
the grouping.
G1. That's the grouping.
Yep, all players within a 1 possession or 1 team wipe of each other. 3 only separating those 4 players, and again, that just goes to show they're all shooting the same thing. They're all listening to each other. They're all calming, cool, and collected. As G1 looking just as strong as they did yesterday against FaZe and Magic. If they continue that, their destiny could be to win this tournament, which sounds wild to say. I think everybody would have had an OpTic or a FaZe, an SSG, or maybe even a Native Red taking this today. But it's G1 riding that underdog story potentially all the way to the top.
I think the majority of people would have expected this spot in the semifinals to be held by FaZe. The other 3 semifinalist teams, I think, kind of follow the trend of expectation. But G1 are here to shake things up with that game 1 victory now over SSG. Do they continue to ride this momentum heading into Slayer Empyrean? And we did have a quick reset on the OpTic native red matchup. Now, when I caught the scoreboard, it was 11-17. So that would be my best guess at the differential ruling. A little bit of an advantage to OpTic. And some of that was due to Lucid with the sniper. He has it in hand again.
Yeah, one of the benefits to that reset is you start right back off where you left off if you're Lucid with that sniper rifle, and a 6-kill lead here for OpTic as we reset after the lag out. A similar slow pace to the one we saw earlier. Tolic with that opening break kill. We saw earlier OpTic, when they got that first break kill, they swarmed native red. Don't see that same emphasis here as we see a little bit of a delayed push from Druck, delayed pop of that overshield, and the timing is actually going to work out here to go down for OpTic.
APG had the rockets in hand. You see it across the kill feed. Formal picks up that sniper from the dying grasp of Lucid, but it's not enough. Look at Soul Snipe. He snuck all the way through Long Haul, through the back of OpTic Gaming's flag base, and all the way across the tower before finally being taken down. But the damage has been done, and OpTic, they need to check their six. They need to watch their back on those rotations. Tolic has his sights set on Long Haul with the sniper at the ready.
Native red down 3 here, but could do well to tie it with a good sniper possession from Tolic. But no, the push through Green Hall, the distraction through Long Haul is enough for OpTic Gaming to get those first 2 kills, make it 3, and a team wipe looking very likely here as APG continues to dominate here at Green.
APG staying alive. He said dominating at Green. At the very second, he received a sniper body shot, but he was able to milk his life, staying alive. Formal going in for the melee. That lift is kind of the block in between. Formal taken down by Manny. Manny holding on. Right now we see off of the reset a bit of a lead here from Native Red. APG, however, has crept behind, very Soul Snipe-esque, into the back of their tower.
Yeah, a page out of the book of Soul Snipe, and maybe APG, the veteran, jotting down those mental notes that he spots from Soul Snipe, trying to steal a page out of his book, but it's Manny instead stealing the life of APG as he goes down. 3 alive for each side. A reset here with that overshield and rockets coming up. And what are these 2 teams going to prioritize here? Are they going to send 2 to each side? It looks like OpTic wants these rockets. 3 players on the green wall, and it's no surprise as the green wall goes to the green wall and APG, but they're not able to make use of those rockets. So a moot point there as the rockets go down without making much of an impact. I want to know now what's going on with that overshield.
Yeah, same question. The attention there at top mid. OpTic is spending a lot of resources to secure that rocket launcher, not really turning it into much, although APG did kind of catch a takedown. Not sure what's happening here. Having trouble with this lobby. But we do have another semifinals matchup happening at the same time. An early lead coming out from SSG off of that first game loss. They have the 4-0 advantage, and Stellar has overshield to boot. Pair it with the sniper. Stellar is full sending it into the base of G1.
Stellar with overshield for free right there. Tells me that G1 was maybe focused on the rockets instead, but instead they should be focused on Stellar as he earns himself the double kill at the snipe tower, looking to push in through the rest of G1's spawn, but instead he's going to block snipe instead. Looks like he's got an anchor point with Penguin there at the sword. Going to force the Mangler spawns here as we see Boo Boo Doo and Sab on that side, but 2 other players for G1 have sneaked out to the other side. So if Space Station can recognize this, they could push the numbers here and really take advantage of Boo Boo Doo's bad positioning, or excuse me, I should say bad spawn.
You want to talk about the numbers? I'll give you a number, Mikowski. 11 rounds in that sniper that Stellar has in hand. Penguin picks up 2. Stellar picks up a kill of his own. Sab is last alive, and it looks like Space Station are building their base here on Gamer's first side. They have them spawn trapped. Stellar being taken down there. That's a huge kill from Suspector to get them some kind of footing, but the damage has been done. Space Station off of this initial push now have an 8-point lead. Here comes Bound. He is taken down. He is eliminated. Penguin with the heat wave, gonna be enough for a trade.
Huge takedown on Stellar there. That allowed Gamers First to take back control of their sniper tower, push out from a position of strength from their spawns here. As you see, Stellar not able to take the free kill on Sab. He's got protection, he's got help, so Gamers First starting to put it together a little bit here. Down 6, needing a few more.
Down 6, but finally with spawns back under control. Bound finds a grenade kill. He's got the sidekick. He's gonna roll through, make it a double. Heat wave for Bound. 4-1. Bound making himself, oh no. Oh no, I had to claim a death from Renegade earlier. Now I have to claim one from Bound. I'm really getting a collection of Caster Curse deaths on my resume.
Wow. A caster's curse there, but an absolute blessing for the Halo community today as we have two incredible matches side by side. OpTic Gaming versus Native Red on the top left. SSG versus G1 on the bottom right. As we hop back on board here with Tolic on the full screen and full ammo to work with that sniper rifle. And what is going on with this lobby? Can't seem to figure it out, so we're going to jump back on board here with G1 versus SSG instead. Sab with that heat wave. Looking to get the double kill on Eco, but no, he's not able to as Sab goes down, and so too does that heat wave.
Cut to just a 3-point game. Suspector has the sniper. Suspector leading the way on Gamers First. 6 kills to his name. Could add to that count with the use of the sniper, but he's gonna have to deal with Sab. I think that's the opposing sniper that just ran up to his left at the top of the base. No, I'm sorry. I mean, they have both snipers because Sab across the kill feed with the sniper kill. Somehow Gamers First found themselves with both the snipers in hand, and
here we go.
Man, what a nice shot. And make it a double. Can we see a triple? No, I think we're gonna have to stop at 2. But those were 2 nice kills, and look at the score line, tied back up.
Gamers First down 8, now up 1. Unbelievable resolve here, slowing down the pace. And as we said earlier, regaining control of that sniper tower, so pivotal and so crucial here because now that's where we see Suspector earning himself that double kill. Sab with the dueling snipers as well. And here's a chance for G1 to maybe slow down the pace and start to bait these lanes out a little bit. They have so many snipers to work with. They could pre-fire and pre-aim, make sure the centering is right on half the map and potentially take down half of SSG here. So a very difficult situation if you're SSG. Elamite gonna have to come up with a quick plan here to get out of this.
Yeah, talking about that SSG roster, previously Cloud9, one thing that did change was the coaching, so looking to Elamite for the leadership on that roster. As we get back into OpTic Gaming versus Native Red, it looks like this reset is gonna stick. Tolic has a sniper in hand. He has APG caught at low ground. Switches over to the BR. No reason to burn a snipe round when you catch a player at 1 HP. And nearly catches the head of Formal on that snipe as well.
Tolic, we've seen him look Lucid-esque with that sniper rifle. He's got Lucid pestering him now. Throwing those grenades in as well. That's going to push Tolic back, but recognizing that there's a tension on the rest of his teammates is going to take the slightest angle here with low shield, waiting for those shields to respawn. Now he's re-engaging on APG, but the call out, the comms are in. Tolic might need to reposition here because OpTic has that one figured out.
Lucid and Tolic with both snipers are actually really close to each other. Lucid at the top of the sniper tower, Tolic at the top of Sword. Could have that dueling battle. Tolic is going after Trippy, it looks like, over at Sword, and now Lucid trying to find an angle to get into the fight as well, but he descopes at the wrong time. Tolic was right there. There was a shot opportunity. Soul Snipe as well at the top of Sword. There's the body shot. Quick, no hesitation, switch to the BR. A player approaching from bottom of training, and oh no, Drug has been on the wrong end of Lucid Sniper time and time again.
Lucid with the potential to grab another sniper if he's able to take down Tolic. Ooh, lying in wait on the other side with that heat wave. My question now, does OpTic still know that Tolic has been at Sword this entire time? It looks like they do. Lucid with the push up. An assist going down for Tolic with another kill here. No! Lucid takes down Tolic, now earns himself that heat wave. A couple chase grenades going out for Manny, but they're not going to land as Lucid saves his life in one shot. No, make it 7 in that heat wave, and more to look in that sniper rifle.
Oh, the use of the repulsor to get the reversal. Lucid pushes the Soul Snipe just far enough that the heat wave gets the kill, but Manny's grenade is going to take down Lucid, stop any spree that he was trying to build. Trippy fills in where Lucid left off, and Trippy living up to that position. Double kill for Trippy.
Sword really feels like the anchor point on Empyrean. Pit, you really had the green and the long hauls as it felt like the main lanes to cycle through, but instead it's been the Sword side as a position of strength. And when you can sneak up with that sniper rifle and an overshield to boot, that's exactly why, as we see Trippy land the headshot and regain the lead for OpTic.
Trippy continuing to push aggressively. 3 players from Native Red spawned back at that Needler side, and the final player is here at training. Trippy has some idea, but wasn't able to lock sights. You know what does lock on, though? Formal's a frag grenade across the kill feed with the double kill. A little bit of cluster luck coming out from Formal, and that gives OpTic this 4-point lead over Native Red.
And if you're just tuning in, we did have a reset here between these two teams. We're going to call it a +6 for OpTic Gaming. So this one looking quite dominant here. A 10, make it 11 kill lead now for OpTic. As the beast was seemingly woken up after that game 1 upset. And this is what you want to see here from a team like OpTic Gaming. The regain, the response is quite strong.
Here comes the regain from OpTic, but it's not over yet. A nice significant lead here. And here's the snipe from Formal. Oh my goodness! We saw the double frag kill on the kill feed, but this time the observer switches to Formal just in time to catch both snipes.
Formal with the Halo 3-esque quickscope there. That was absolutely beautiful. As he goes down ultimately though to Manny. And an opportunity here, but Trippy looking to shut it down. Earns himself another killing spree. Tolic now taking down Trippy at the sword location and trying to just figure out what it is that Native Red needs to do differently. Do they need to control the sword side like we've seen OpTic do so far? Do they need to revert and go to use those green and long hauls instead to play from a position of strength? Native Red with plenty of questions right now and not a whole lot of answers.
Well, Tolic does have a heat wave at the top of sword, so if sword is the key, this might be the start of the comeback for Native Red. A trade of kills across the map between Trippy and Manny goes down. Now Druck with plasma pistol charging. Tolic still trying to hold on to this top sword position. He's gonna have to duck for cover. Overshield just 8 seconds away. Tolic does not want to go down without a fight. Lucid might be creeping up the ramp. It's a 1v2 though. The player nearly off the map, clambers at the last second. That should be overshield for Native Red, 1 over.
Yeah, and historically, OpTic has pushed 3 green for those rockets and sent Lucid for overshield. Lucid not able to win that 2v1 there, as that overshield, I believe, is still below. Maybe a late pop coming in here soon for Native Red. OpTic able to gain control of those rockets here as the lead holds at 10 for OpTic Gaming. Tolic gonna have to do a hell of a lot here with that heat wave if Native Red's gonna come back.
Well, Tolic, credit to the patience, has been holding down this position even though not able to find the kills with it. I do believe it was another teammate that snuck away with the overshield, Manny, if I'm not mistaken. Tolic does find an assist there after dealing out the damage. Left weakened though. Teammate at the top of training might be able to help, but Lucid is ready. Tolic rotates around. Lucid cleans him up, and Tolic survived for so long there at the top of sword, had that position locked down, but here comes the breakthrough from OpTic.
Just as it looked like Native Red was able to dwindle that lead down, it's, what do you know, Lucid with the heat wave. As he eventually goes down, Trippy though, gonna be able to pick up that heat wave repulsor combination to gain himself the high ground and get back to that sword location. We've seen OpTic absolutely dominate here in this game, and they're continuing the form as 3 go down for Native Red. OpTic Gaming all but closing this one out.
Getting very close to that finish line. We'll be keeping our eyes peeled on the score, especially as we get in the 40s. 44 approximately. Oh no, 2 more. Every time we go to Formal, he's getting kills in pairs, right? Double kill from a frag, double kill with snipes, double kill again with the snipes. He doesn't get just single kills. He's so good at this game that all his kills come in 2s.
So strong with that sniper down long haul that he forces the entirety of Native Red to rotate towards sword instead. That is how good Formal is. When you are changing the decision making of your opponents like that, that just goes to show how strong Formal is. There's a reason why he's the GOAT in Call of Duty and Halo. Ultimately going down there to Manny, but with what, a 6-kill spread, 9+, they're up 15 right now. This one's all but over.
This game is all but over. Tolic with only 1 snipe left to work with. But notice the positioning here, holding down the Needler side, that long haul spawn side. Tolic is forcing all of OpTic to spawn towards Sniper Tower, towards sword, and honestly, OpTic don't look too bothered by it. Tolic hasn't been able to find any of those players off of spawn. They're just out rotating. Finally, he finds the back of Lucid. He takes down the headshot kill. There's a player up to his right. It's Trippy on the lift. Tolic heard the lift. He's chasing down Trippy. Trippy at one shot. Tolic takes him down. Lucid is ready to fill in. Tolic needs to retreat and play his life. They are just kills away from the game. That might be it. Let's watch how this plays out. Maybe they're going to the full 50, but either way, at least a 7-point advantage in the hands of OpTic.
OpTic looking like they don't even need the 6-point spread. They've already built a 6+ point spread in this very game, as it'll take perfect Halo from Native Red. Is that's not going to happen. OpTic Gaming tie this series up at 1.
We'll call it 50-39, I believe, off of the reset. OpTic coming back strong in the fight after a couple of missteps in game number 1. Love to see them back at full strength. You gotta watch out. Lucid with the sniper. We saw Formal with the sniper, APG rocking the rockets, and Trippy just being that all-around utility player, cleaning up kill after kill. A force to be reckoned with, no doubt. Native Red needing to find a way to answer back, and for the first time, at least for me in season 2, Argyle is up for game number 3.
Yeah, Magic. I thought about that after hopping offline yesterday. We didn't get to watch any Argyle. Excuse me. We didn't cast any, and I didn't see any afterwards. So curious if the rotation is looking light because we're not sure if Argyle's a competitive map or it's just a coincidence. Either way, we're going to get our first glimpse of that map, I believe, at all this weekend. I don't think we've seen any Argyle, so lots of strategies to develop, a lot of new locations, a lot of new call-outs that teams are learning here. So a little bit more of the same in those games in game 1, but games 2 and 3, new maps and a new opportunity here for OpTic Gaming to come back.
Yeah, really fun to watch the strategies there on Empyrean, and the same as we head into game 3 on Argyle. We've seen a couple of different routes used when this was featured in like the Spartan Snowdown, for example. I remember we were watching, and some of this was actually, I mean, it was Team Status Quo at the time. Now 2 of the players are on TSS, that's Super CC and Swish, and their strategy with captures was the direct approach, straight down the middle of the map. Other times you'd see branching off left or right, a little more similar to like an Aquarius strategy. But I think the fun thing about new maps in the rotation is that we don't know what that meta looks like yet because it's developing before our eyes.
Well, and the thing with that, the reason that strategy might be viable this season is because Argyle has such a big opening on that base, so many lanes and so much opportunity to shoot through. So when a player runs that flag bottom mid, it pulls out the opposing team to the front of the base. And if you've got guys up towards camo or to the left or right of that, it's free shots all day into the base. And that flag can sometimes get past that 50-yard line and ultimately in the score point, which is crazy because there's very few maps where bottom mid running it like that is going to work. Aquarius, I don't think you ever see a bottom mid successful flag run, but don't be surprised if you see one here today on Argyle.
Definitely something to look forward to. And I'm going to go back a little bit. Argyle will be on screen here soon enough, but talking about Empyrean, the remake of the pit coming into the rotation, were there any notes? I know, Mikowski, you got a great breakdown of this. You have great post-game analysis. Was there any keys to success that you could pick up from either OpTic Gaming side, ultimately winning the game, or even from Native Red, where they were making a pushback?
Yeah, it all came down to Sword that game. And I remember at one point even asking the question, is Native going to rotate out of Sword? Because OpTic knew exactly where everybody was on that Native Red team, but they held it down. That shows me that Sword is a point of strength. It's a position on the map that these teams want to dominate. And I'm really curious to see how this develops, because if you look over at the long haul side, you've got that boom block. And I think that's being underutilized because the boom block can cover the entirety of the long haul from Mangler to Mangler. You can drop it out in front, a little bit in between green and long haul, and look out into the entirety of the other team's side of the base. So with a few protected shots, with 2 or 3 free shots that you would normally be taking damage with. So I'm gonna be curious to see which of the 2 sides dominates. Because like I said, in the classic Halos, it was all long haul, but here in Halo Infinite, it's looking like the Sword base.
Equipment makes all the difference here. That drop wall could just be the counter on that long haul side push, but we're going back to Space Station versus Gamers First, and Gamers First did come out with that win in game number 2. When we were watching, wasn't Space Station in the lead?
Wow, a 2-0 lead. Yeah, a comeback in game 2, and it's gonna be a reverse sweep needed the comeback of the comeback variety for Space Station if they want to come back in this game and this series, facing an 0-2 deficit. A team that made the grand finals every opportunity last season, now on the brink of elimination. Or excuse me, on the brink of going to the lower bracket.
Not elimination yet. Luckily for both teams, we're still up in the winner's bracket, but a lot on the line regardless. Both teams wanting to get into that winner's finals. And thank you so much to Mr. Snow coming through with the info, said that G1 won game number 2, 50-43. So not a blowout by any means, but a 7-point victory in the end. Gets them to this stable position, 2-0 in this series. But it comes down to CTF on Argyle. Neither team getting a touch on the flag just yet as they fight for that mid-map control.
Yeah, and flag scores are really hard to come by on this map. It's going to come down to those snipers. It's going to come down to camo control. And it's going to come down to some individual plays as well, as Bound looks to push in all by his lonesome into the G1 base. Sab has to look back at that. Now Stellar with an easy back smack on Sab. And all of that attention on Bound is leading to slays here for Space Station as Penguin takes down another. And SSG looking to take mid-map control and potentially get this first flag pull out right here.
Here comes Bound, rotates to the back of the base, making sure that the path is clear before getting a touch on the flag. But oh no, that touch on the flag led to his death. I don't know if they heated up the flagpole or something, because the second he put his hand on it, he was taken down. G1 off of the respawns were able to stop that flag run. But meanwhile, the other side of the semifinals continues on. This is a deadlocked 1-1 series. Native Red taking that King of the Hill game number 1. OpTic answering back in Slayer, and this is a most familiar sight. Lucid with the sniper.
And not only Lucid Magic, but Formal as well. OpTic Gaming, if they can execute here with these dueling sniper rifles, they should be able to put this first flag in. But like I said earlier, it's going to be very difficult. Don't be surprised if you see very low scoring 1-0, 2-1 games here on Argyle, as the teams are reflecting that. The pace is slow. APG, though, with the opening break on Druck, this is where we'll start to see Lucid move up with that sniper rifle. He has Manny called out, Pollock as well, but neither want to peek.
Gotta go back about a month, Mikowski. So remember, we casted here on LVT Halo the qualifiers, the online qualifiers for the Spartan Snowdown, and we saw a double overtime CTF Argyle. Potentially could happen here yet again. Lucid finds the shots onto Manny, uses the frag, uses the snipe, uses the BR. Anything it takes to get the job done, and that allows across the map the first flag pull to come through. Formal is running the flag. He drops the flag just long enough to clean up a kill. He has a little bit of help here from Trippy, carving a path in front of that flag run.
Well, and look how methodical this flag run is. They had all the snipers. They had the numbers advantage, still do. But look at how long it's taking to score this flag. This is why Argyle, you cannot count out a flag run at any moment in time. And I remember, Magic, with Bazaar CTF, it was one of those maps where you usually needed 2 team wipes to guarantee that you secured that flag. Argyle is looking like you might need 3.
Might require 3 full team wipes to get the capture. A heavy investment and a difficult task, even for the world champion OpTic Gaming. They get that first point on the board, but it was a tedious task to rotate it across the map. Now we see the sniper in the hands of APG. The push back from Native Red, led by Soul Snipe. Here comes APG, doesn't connect on the first snipe, doesn't connect on the second, but third time's the charm. He sees that Soul Snipe has the opposing sniper and is down to 1 shot. Which player connects? APG wins out the duel.
Pivotal match there when you consider that the victor is gonna gain control of that camo. Druck with it now, needs to stay alive to maximize the value, but no, he goes down. Trippy with a massive trade here as he regains a little bit of control here for OpTic Gaming. APG still with that sniper rifle in hand. Gonna push up here with it. Manny, though, with the dueling sniper rifle, and he's got the no-scope on APG. A few players from OpTic pushing up, though, as that's gonna be a very difficult situation for him to survive it. As now Lucid and Formal again have the sniper rifle. Lucid calming, pointing to Formal. The snipers here pick it up as he's got 1 shot left to work with. Will we see a little bit more of the same? No, Lucid going down. Now Formal, the only sniper holder, and Native Red doing a good job playing defense here.
Ooh, great defense from Native Red. They take down both snipers. They take down Trippy. That's the full team wipe. Native Red Pollock doesn't clear out the back of the base. He wants to get away with this flag. A nice little curb slide is going to give him a boost of momentum to rotate that flag to a little bit of cover. But it comes down to that second round of slays. If you're looking at the kill feed, it's all green. Native Red might have got the flag pulled, but again, it's about taking it in chunks. The second round of slays didn't come through.
Yeah, you really almost got to draw imaginary lines on this map and look at them as checkpoints, right? You get to that checkpoint, you drop the flag entirely. Nobody touch flag, nobody run flag. We saw earlier one of those players for Native pick up the flag, and it was all for naught. It was almost like bait. Or excuse me, I believe it was OpTic Gaming earlier. So the methodical, slow nature of this CTF, every kill counts. As Soul Snipe looking to play his life here with the high ground. Trippy below, and Trippy, you're gonna have a really tough time, but Lucid with a great cleanup there.
Lucid has work cut out for him, though. There's still two players from Native Red on the sniper side of the base. It's Pollock and Druck. Druck is the player to get his hands on the flag. Pollock is following along behind, trying to give some cover fire. So the first chunk, the first checkpoint, if you will, might be won. But Trippy, knowing that he has time, goes after camo instead of stressing about the flag.
I really think that's what that's the case. You cannot just run straight through. This map does not allow you to just run a flag straight through. You've got to drop it, and that's 2 times now that we've seen Native Red not drop the flag. But 3 players go down for OpTic Gaming here, so an opportunity, despite not really checking those checkpoints. Despite that, Native Red putting this one in and tying it at 1.
You thought that Trippy had the stop, but even as he killed the flag runner, he was instantly taken down in the process. So not able to chain together enough slays. We're looking at a tied game. Manny has the sniper in hand, tossing out the frag, but 2 players go down for Native Red. Manny trying to get away with his life, but Trippy threading the needle on those shots, gets another kill, and now Trippy, off of those slays, gets that first flag touch, and here's where he drops it, right? He drops it to play Slayer. Formal fills in right behind.
Yep. This is the strategy right here. APG looking to carry that flag to the home base and give OpTic a 2-1 lead, and that's a commanding 2-1 lead here. With 6 minutes left to go, OpTic could really elect to just play strong defense if they're able to score here, and they're going to do just that. That one looking seemingly uncontested, and that tells me, Magic, that for that first flag score from Native Red, they just used way too many resources.
So easy off of a flag capture for the other team to apply the pressure, take advantage of your weakness and exploit it. And now OpTic is doing that. Here comes Lucid. I don't know if he dropped the camo or burned it. So either Lucid is going to have camo for himself. It looks like it was burned instead. Thank you again to Nighty Night on the Observer for answering that question I had. No camo in play. A great takedown to eliminate Native Red. They could have utilized that camo to potentially tie up the game or at least make it into OpTic's base, but they don't have that to work with. APG is holding middle of the map with the sniper, waiting patiently, stalking his prey. He finds Soul Snipe, but Lucid's the one who wins over the kill.
And this is especially interesting because it's usually not APG with that sniper in his hands. Looking like the main slayer, the main sniper for OpTic Gaming. As he takes down his opponent.
Formal, though? Like...
I'm not sure if that shot hit for him. I was thinking the same thing. It looks like he may have had some friendly fire. But this one's looking really good here for OpTic Gaming as they have the 2-1 lead, have 2 down for Native Red, and with Trippy and that sniper rifle, you just got to play a little defense here at the 50-yard line.
Well, the battle of the snipers, I believe it's Druck on the other side, Native Red playing defense, but here's the thing. When you have a 2-0 lead, forcing Native Red to play defense is a win in and of itself, but Formal's trying to sneak away with the flag. Trippy lays down 2 shots that don't connect, but they are warning shots. The stinky grenade coming through. APG is in a 1v1 against Druck. Druck rounds the corner. The repulsor means this is going to be a trade, kill for kill. Wait a minute, Druck didn't go down. He stayed on the map. He caught that lower ledge. He's still alive.
Druck with the clamber of the year so far, staying alive, and that one's crucial, Magic, because Native Red, with only just a few possessions left in this game, a few opportunities to tie this one and send us to OT. Druck staying alive there is absolutely massive. And look at the consequence of it. A double kill instead. Druck should have been off the map. He should be on a respawn screen. Instead, he's got a double, and he's looking for more.
Looking for more. He is the player of the game right now for Native Red, leading the way on slays. But at that frontmost position, he makes himself a target. And OpTic Gaming, they might have been dropped one after the other, but in the end, their team fire finds him, takes Druck down. Now Tolic eyeing that active camo, waiting for the shield regen, rounding the corner. OpTic Gaming, their team fire is too strong.
Shot. Double kill.
Hopping on board here with Soul Snipe. He's got that sniper rifle and he's putting it to good work. 2 kills. Now waiting for the rest of his teammates to push up. We saw 2 go down for Native Red. They're going to look to get back in that fight. Ooh, but it's OpTic Formal with the camo and the snipe. Not a surprise. He lands the counter snipe there as he looks to take down Manny as well. And I love that job there from Formal. First, making sure that he didn't check his corners. As he checks his corner there, takes down Manny, but he checked his base to make sure that there was nobody left creeping or sneaking for Native Red. So we're seeing Formal play the process, really prioritize 1, 2, 3, 4 in correlation and coordination. And it's one big reason why OpTic might just win this one 3-1.
The potential third capture is on the way. Formal is playing this map just perfectly. Soul Snipe does get the kill onto APG, shuts him down, but as Formal is protecting the mid section of this map, you have to think there's somebody else from OpTic to pick up the flag, carry the mantle. They relay it to Trippy. Trippy gets the capture. There's the 3-1. And now the 2:20 on the clock. Native Red are in trouble.
Native Red, again in a situation where they have to play perfect Halo if they want to win this game. Down 2 with just over 2 to go. That's going to put you at about a minute per flag cap. But they're going to need to pull one soon. Have the numbers, though, to potentially make this one interesting as 3 go down for OpTic. Looking for the 4th. APG goes down as well. An opportunity here for Native Red.
Here come Native Red. Druck might be the first one to get the touch on that flag. Soul Snipe is helping to carve a path in front, and Tolic is covering the push from behind. But Soul Snipe now might have to take over that flag pickup. He doesn't have enough cover. The crossfire from OpTic. It looked like it was going to be a great run there from Native Red, but they couldn't clear that halfway point of the map, and the flag dropped out in the open.
That just goes to show that one team wipe, not even close to enough to score here on Argyle. OpTic Gaming really putting together the plan that other teams might want to follow here as we start to see the strategy form and develop here on one of these new maps. Argyle, not a new sight there as we see OpTic Formal with another headshot with that snipe. Been doing it for decades and decades and decades. Absolute respect to the OG Formal, the multi FPS world champion. Looking to go back to back here in season 2. As he elects to just play back up to 1 minute left. It's all defense here.
Well, that's the strategy for OpTic, right? Hit your shots, kid. Just gotta hit your shots. Formal with the sniper is an oppressive line of defense because he is hitting his shots. No surprise coming out from this multi-FPS champion. Lucid finds a sniper of his own as well. And the shots from those 2 snipers have been a problem from start to finish of this game. Clock is ticking, 25 seconds remain, and Lucid is not done hitting those shots.
Lucid playing a little mini game of whack-a-mole there as he's going to continue running this flag despite having this game all but wrapped up. But no, he's almost disrespectfully going to toss it off as OpTic Gaming has this one all but wrapped up and look to take the 2-1 lead and an opportunity to close it out here in game 4.
I think disrespectful is the right word for it. There's no other reason why you throw the flag literally off the map instead of dropping it on the ground at your feet. And Lucid goes on a tear at the end of the game. Sniper plays primarily from Lucid and Formal, locking down the map, and that checkpoint strategy to run the flags might just become the meta here in season 2.
Yeah, I really think that the meta for this map is the checkpoints route. I know Native Gaming scored without the checkpoints, but OpTic Gaming countered immediately. So I think we're pretty close to correct on that strategy. And if I had to break this map up, Magic, I'd have to break it up into thirds. So you really gotta get, like I said, get those 3 team wipes, stop it at the 33%, the 66%, and then maybe even right at the end of the flag. As Penguin, with 10 seconds left, looking to bring this one to sudden death. And that could be huge. Usually that camo's all for naught as the clock hits 000. But if we go to sudden death, camo, sniper could have a huge say in the results. But no, we're going to go to OT instead. And this one's going to reset. A very precise and timely reset as the winner of this opening break sets them up for a potential win here in OT.
I'm taking a look at some notes. We'll get the information across to you. It does look like we're going to sudden death here in this game 3 CTF. Meanwhile, OpTic native red.
Actually,
okay,
I believe
sorry.
SSG. Okay, so yeah, catching up. Looks like SSG had a 1-0 lead. There was a reset in the prior game. Somebody joined an open lobby. So that tie is not a tie. It looks like SSG will take that game 1-0 and stave off elimination. Now down 2-1 to G1 as Native Red facing the same deficit, down 2-1 to OpTic Gaming, but it's 3 down and a good start here for Native Red.
Thank you. I'm so glad we have the full team here to keep us on track. There's a lot of games they're throwing at you, and that's the goal here, right? LVT Halo is to deliver as much Halo action as possible. So we're jumping back and forth between a couple of matches. Sorry, I got a little bit lost in all of the information, but in the end, we get back on track. 2-1 on both of these series. OpTic Gaming over Native Red have that advantage. Starting off here, we do see the early points going to Native Red, however. Talik looking to put a first kill on the board, but playing a great set of defense, rotating bottom of A to Whirlpool and just keeping OpTic Gaming from this A-side approach.
A great start here for Native Red, and you can really take the sense of urgency and feel it as Native Red, recognizing that their backs are against the wall. The best way to send this to a game 5 is by starting off right on this recharge strongholds. Is OpTic, though, taking a little bit of A, taking a little bit of B here, a potential for them to start scoring, all spawning here at A, so they're going to push out to B towards gold, and B looking like a likely hold here for OpTic as they have numbers to boot.
You gotta love that both semifinals matchups are going at least to game number 4. No sweeps seen across the semifinals. Game number 4, Native Red trying to push this to a game 5. OpTic Gaming did find the breakthrough there on A after significant time has gone to Native Red. There's the team fire. A player snuck through to Whirlpool, however. Soul Snipe finds a kill, Talik finds a kill. Trippy shock rifle in hand, and Formal as the last line of defense. He might just have to counter a push from top of control. There's a player from Native Red just above him. He's not going to get this camo for free, or is he? I stand corrected. He got that camo so free.
Wow. Formal was anchoring A. Leaves to grab camo. It's a good job recognizing it eventually for Native Red, as that looked like it could have been really, really dangerous. APG taking Formal's place instead, as it looks to be a strategy here for OpTic Gaming to lock down this crucial elevator here at A.
And APG is on the lookout there for Soul Snipe. He had the potential to climb up the A-side stairs from the pit there. Instead, he rotated over to Whirlpool, but either way, you dice it. He finds his death. The last player is Talik at the top of C. That plasma grenade should do some damage. Yep, Talik's at about half. Manny's giving a little bit of cover, trying to keep him alive. But look at OpTic Gaming. After being down almost 50 points off the break, now they have climbed back and find themselves in the lead. Formal with the shock rifle, keeping Talik suppressed. He can't over-peek, he can't ego challenge, or he will be punished for it.
OpTic Gaming gonna have an easy decision when it comes to predicting these spawns. They know Native Red is all at sea, and when you have Formal with that shock rifle as well, it's really going to come down to Druk here, breaking that setup as he does just that, taking down Lucid. Formal still popping off with that shock rifle, though. What can Druk do at that gold side as he eventually goes down? OpTic Gaming is continue to score here and hold Talik. Not going to be able to do anything here, as he's almost going to have to haphazardly push in and take this piv forcibly. Almost a 1v2 situation. Lucid getting the trade ultimately, and OpTic Gaming continues their scoring.
That might be one of the first signs of a desperation from Native Red. Talik is such a composed, cool-headed player, but I don't know if he didn't know there were 2 players from OpTic there or was just getting impatient. One or the other is true, because he rotates around to the top of A. He does find a kill to his credit before running into the double team. It's too much for him, and now he's there at the back of B. He's being collapsed on, somehow survives long enough for that capture miraculously to come through.
And how long is Formal held on to this shock rifle? Seemingly minutes, and it's gonna go on for more. Yeah, he's absolutely spreeing 5 in a row. Captures curse, he's dead.
Unfortunately, the spree is cut short. Formal does get taken down. We'll see whose hands that shock rifle ends up in. Manny with a plasma pistol against grenades. Just a bombardment of grenades. OpTic, they lost that A-B hold. They settle for A and C, but is this a plasma pistol duel I'm seeing between Trippy and Manny? Trippy finds his mark. Trippy finds the melee kill.
Wow, and after that hot start from Native Red, it has been all OpTic, spreading that score to just about 100. And they're going to continue to put points on the board as Trippy should be able to secure B. Yep, and gets out of there with that grapple hook. Love that play there from Trippy, and he's doing even more with it. Remote detonation for Soul Snipe. That's going to take down Lucid. Now Talik pushing up with a teammate behind him now. So opportunity here with the good push. There he is. There it is. There's the good push from Native Red, taking advantage of their numbers, positioning, but it's still OpTic Formal with that shock rifle, shutting down any hope.
Well, there was a brief moment of triple cap there from Native Red, and as Formal is taken down, shock rifle yet again on the ground. Formal might as well inscribe his name on the shock rifle at this point. He's had such control of that power weapon. Native Red finally find their footing at A, and I think this is so crucial. This has been OpTic's home base on their run through this game. They've had AB, they've had AC, so Soul Snipe and the rest of Native Red finally taking over that side. And it looks like OpTic are fighting for their hometown. They really are prioritizing this A side capture.
OpTic Gaming fighting for their hometown and that camo as we see OpTic Formal sneak off with it, and with 2 more in the kill feed for OpTic and a roaming Formal with camo. That's going to spell bad news for Native Red as they go 3 down. OpTic Gaming looking to put the finishing touches here as they look to surpass into the 200s. And Magic, I'm really surprised that we haven't seen a closer game here from Native Red after that good start.
I'd be surprised. We saw a good start from Native Red. I'm just applauding Trippy. He dropped the shock rifle on bat ledge. Formal grabbing the camo, goes to the bat ledge, picks it up. It's sitting there on the ledge waiting for him. Just a gift from Trippy. Combine that shock rifle with the camo, but the camo is burned out. Honestly, OpTic happy to play the patient game right now as they have nearly double the points, a 100-point lead, but that shock rifle doesn't find its mark. Here comes Native Red. They're storming the castle, but it's not enough just yet. APG finds himself in a 1v1. APG is taken down. They stormed the base, they took it, and we have another potential triple cap opportunity if Formal doesn't stay alive on C.
OpTic going 4 down there. It's a big reason why the scoring has flipped. A and B now in possession of Native Red. Shock rifle no longer in the hands of OpTic Formal, which is equally as important to point out. It's now in the hands of Manny, and my goodness, if he can hit a couple clutch instantaneous TTK headshots here, this could put Native Gaming back in it. But APG with the clutch double kill is going to make that even more difficult of a challenge now, as Manny forced to really almost desperate here towards B with the score impending on the finish.
Oh, Formal looking a little bit jealous there. If I can't have the shock rifle, I'm definitely not going to be taken down by it. The commando was enough for Formal to get another kill up on the board, but APG finding a double kill yet again. Here comes Trippy now, fighting for that A side control. Comes OpTic. They might just do a quick trade of A and C here, but Formal, camo in his hands yet again. He finds one player, it's Druck, caught off guard. An easy cleanup kill, and just 10 seconds to go for OpTic to take this series. The clock is ticking. Players from Native Red are trapped back at Sneaky and Long Haul, and all Formal has to do is lie and wait for the overextension, and it's not going to be enough. OpTic Gaming, off of the first game loss, answer back with 3 straight wins. They're moving into the finals.
Here we go, switching gears here, back on board with this G1 versus SSG series, as it looks like SSG has mounted a 2-1 lead here just about on this recharge strongholds. Camo coming up in 5. Sab and his teammates going to need to make a play here. Don't know where that shock rifle is. It's not on the mount. Suspector has it in his hands.
Ooh, and Stellar from Space Station, I believe, has the camo. So we might see a little head-to-head action. Shock rifle versus camo in play. Here comes Stellar. He's rotating back through pipes. Not doing much with that camo just yet, but Suspector with a shock rifle breaking through to C. Looks like a little trade of B and C, but there's the perfect that we were waiting for from the last match. We had to switch to the other semifinal head-to-head to see it come to fruition.
Very impressive there from Stellar, able to sneak out B. After that headshot from Suspector, it really looked like a triple cap was coming for G1, and it might come nonetheless, as Bound gonna have to stay alive at Elevator. He goes down. It's 3 down for SSG, and now G1 does in fact have the trip cap.
the trip cap to get back in this game. Just a 10-point differential, and it's rapidly switching. Great response from Space Station to get their footing there on C, and now Stellar with the opening break kill. 2 go down for either side. We're gonna see another trade, A for B, and Gamers First will trade all day on captures, almost like a Team Slayer, where when you have the lead, you're happy to trade kills. Now with the captures, when you have the zones controlled, you can trade off one zone for the other. Space Station need to find that second capture. Stellar is keeping the pressure applied. Shock Rifle doesn't connect on the double.
Love the decision making there from G1, electing to just aggressively push in towards that shock rifle. He was able to no-scope the first, but not the second, and now that shock rifle is in the hands of Suspector, and he's putting it to good use with a double kill of his own, and the score flips once again for G1, just as it looked like Stellar with that shock rifle was about to mount a comeback for SSG. It's G1 and Suspector leading the way instead.
Watching to see how this develops. Suspector is low. Bound comes through, cleans up the kill. Boo Boo Doo trades out right back. Active camo just seconds away. Clock is still ticking. The score is still climbing. Boo Boo Doo is on a tear. Does he stay alive? He doesn't want to wait for shield. He wants to recontest now, but it's Bound with the camo. Bound back at stacks. Boo Boo Doo got one shot on him. He knows where he is, but Bound is going to get away and have full use of this camo just in time for Space Station to get back in this game. But how does he utilize it? Sneaking around behind Boo Boo Doo. They take him down in the nick of time to reset that zone. Wait a minute. Wait, they didn't get the reset on the zone. There was another player. Gamers First still come out with a capture.
Still coming out with that capture, but Bound coming out with a double kill, and that should flip C in favor of SSG, and now they look like they're primed to earn themselves that triple cap. And what a time for it here, Magic, as they're down 30. Those 2 seconds every second are going to tick faster and faster and faster. The more G1 is unable to figure out this possession and this stronghold for Space Station as they look to regain the lead.
Oh, and Bound, even as he's being repulsed off the map, ends that engagement as a trade, and now Space Station are climbing up the scoreboard. They're past that 200 mark. Gamers First are taking too long to stop the bleeding, to stabilize. Finally, it looks like they have a player at C. The fight's still on. The triple cap is still in place. Falcated wins the fight, but Bound is here again. This triple cap has been absolutely detrimental and dangerous. Gamers First finally finding one capture, but only 15 seconds left for them to find another.
Yeah, and when you've got the trip cap for the other team as the opposing team, you want to make a decision. Pick one and just go to it. We finally saw G1 a little delayed there, pick C, as they pick that as their first cap to secure. And now they're looking at B and Bay Magic. Oh my God, a map flip here as G1 potentially with a trip cap of their own.
Sab cleans up a kill, but escaping with his life. The advantage on zones back to Gamers First in the nick of time. Boo Boo Doo with the double melee. It's the takedown he wants. No BR in hand, but the double electric weapons, the shock rifle and disruptor. Tosses out a couple of frags. They're holding on. They lose A. This was the home base of OpTic, and now Space Station are moving in, making it their home. But the score is only 35 points separating the two teams.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. Just as it looked like SSG was going to put the finishing touches on this one, it's Gamers First regaining with control of B and C. Can it stick? Will it hold? Boo Boo Doo Boo lying like a spider, waiting for the insect to fall into his trap with that disruptor. No, he's not going to. Oh, he is going to take him down. The damage over time, enough to take down his opponent, and it could spur the comeback here for G1.
G1 once again find themselves in a zone trading position, trading out A for B. They're climbing up that scoreboard. They're only 6 seconds down, and the clock is ticking. Now, all of a sudden, the pressure is back on Space Station. Gamers First want to end this game with a triple cap of their own, or at the very least, trading zone. But the reset, Suspector stepped off. A costly mistake. He wins out on the gunfight, but not in time because that zone flips to Space Station.
Suspector stepped off. Eco continue to creep at the pillars, earning SSG the B location, and now it's going to come down to full desperation. Sab in B, but he's not able to stay alive. 2 down for G1, only 1 for SSG, as SSG, if they can take down Suspector, should win this game. Suspector goes down, and yes, SSG ends up coming out on top despite the ferocious comeback attempt there from G1. And Magic, we got something everybody wants here, which is a game 5.
Game Game 5, 250 to 247. Incredible comeback. Space Station Gaming with the triple cap just flew a rocket to the moon, if you will, up the scoreboard, and then Gamers First. They found a way to stop the points, and then this, I hate to call out a misstep, but I think Suspector, literally one misstep, stepping off of B, allowing that reset instead of the contest to come through, might have just cost the game for G1.
Can we rewind that actually a little bit? Because I want to see, was it a grenade at the back of the pillars that took him down and kind of forced him out of the hill?
It's back. Yep, we're almost there now. It's right here. Look at the zone.
So here we go. Suspector, full shields.
They had it like 80% captured.
Tosses that grenade out. Looks up towards Batledge, but there's nobody there. So that is costly. Okay, so it's this. He has to slide out. Taking damage from behind, it forces Suspector to slide out by just a millimeter. Eco standing strong with no shields. Suspector eventually taking him down, but Bound cleans it up. Unbelievable. Clutch Gene from SSG there as they take down G1, survive, and send us to a game 5.
And you guys might be thinking, I mean, Suspector does go down in that fight, but had he contested it with an 80% capture, he comes out with a kill. He lives for about 3, maybe 4 seconds. Might have been enough for the B capture, which keeps G1 counting up the points. So really came down to that final capture here at B. See, off of this win, had he had that chunk of capture on B, I think it would have been enough to flip it.
Yeah. If G1 maintains that B control there, that kill on Eco, we saw about a quarter of that diamond fill up for Suspector in G1, and that's all they needed when that score was at the 80% mark. So I do in fact think that this would have went in G1's favor, but it's all forgotten now at this point. You got to wipe the memory for both of these squads. Games 1 through 4, it don't matter now because it all comes down to this, a pivotal game 5 to find yourself in the winners finals of the first tournament of the season here in HCS. This one's going to be huge.
Shout out to Penguin leading the way for SSG with the 8.0 KD in that game 4. And then on the other side, Falcated and Boo Boo Doo both putting up some good numbers. So really a clash of titans here in the semifinals, heading into another game number 5. Is there anything that stands out to you from the stats, Mikowski? I'm seeing Falcated with over 6,000 damage, but what else maybe pops up to you?
I think to me, what I'm noticing from these top teams is that you have your guy, right? You have your Lucid or you have your Frosty, but then you have someone secondary that could pop off as well. You've got Formal, we saw with the sniper and the shock in that one series. We've seen, we've seen in relation to G1, Falcated. Booba Dooba might be the guy, but Falcated can also pop off. So I'm looking for the number 2, if you will, as far as perceived value or standings on the team from the community to really pop off and earn his team that number 1 finish here. So I'm looking to see Falcated. I'm looking to see maybe a little bit of Eco pop off here. Stellar, usually the guy that you expect in a game 5, but I'm going to be watching Eco and Falcated here in this game instead.
All right, game number 5 is going to come down to Live Fire Slayer, and I want to add a little bit more to this storyline, right, Mikowski? We talked about that's our job as casters, is building the excitement, but also bringing the storylines. And I remember back to a similar game 5, Live Fire Slayer, at Orlando, where it was Gamers First versus Sentinels, and it came down to a 49-50. So this is no new map mode position for Gamers First to fight for.
Gamers First, time after time, losing 50-49s all of last season to Complexity, to Fnatic, to Sentinels, like you mentioned at Orlando. Is this the day they rewrite the chapter and come out on top instead here in a game 5 against a team like SSG, which, you're gonna throw this out there, Magic, in an alternate universe might have been on G1. So this match, you get a little added spice, a little added zest here. You might not have thought this was a grudge match, but based on all the things that went on behind the scenes in the offseason, it is.
Yeah, leave it to Mikowski to give us just a little tease of stuff that's happening behind the scenes. But we know that the emotions are high in this game number 5. These players have been putting in the work during the offseason, are ready to make their mark, write that new chapter at the start of season 2. A trade of kills coming through, and I can tell you even from the opening break of this game that this is gonna come down to the wire. Kills going back and forth, neither team wanting to give up that power weapon control, but it's Penguin coming away with the heat wave and sniper.
Yeah, it's that early edge in the scoreboard for G1, but if you look at the sandbox, it's a big advantage. Sniper and heat wave in the hands of Penguin. If he can pop off here, he could really start to separate Space Station from the pack here as he lands the headshot, ties this one up at 4. Looking for more, not able to secure anyone in his sights. Penguin looks like he's just going to anchor here at B, bound over here at the nest. Stellar at Snipe Tower, almost seeing like an oddball setup here for Space Station.
4-5 is the lead. We've seen one of those early game slowdowns that we saw in the OpTic native red, especially with that Empyrean Slayer, where we saw, you know, the opening break, weapons exchanging hands, and then this a sign of respect. Neither team wanting to give up even a single advantage to the opposition. Both teams playing cautious, playing smart, and waiting for either the overshield spawn to force them out of cover, or for one person to make even the briefest moment of a misstep.
This team Slayer looking more like an SND, as the SWAT team positioning is strong for each squad, and really it's going to come down to things like sniper and overshield coming up. It's going to be the only thing that emphasizes the push here as we start to see the attention shift towards that overshield. Oh my goodness, Penguin with an incredible headshot, but 2 going down for Space Station. Penguin gonna have to really clutch up here as Gamers First has full force on that overshield, and the shots are not enough from Penguin as Gamers First is gonna sneak away with that overshield and the lead.
You would have thought off that crazy flick snipe from Penguin that the path would be cleared for Space Station to grab the overshield, but instead it's Gamers First winning on the opposite side. They have the overshield. They have a 3-point lead. Penguin, all he can do is hold on to these weapons and hold on to this top map control, tossing out the frags, maybe getting a little bit antsy, a little bit impatient, trying to wait for teammates to come back and help. You see Bound as well at the back of the tower. Stellar kind of caught in the bottom tunnel. The push coming from the side of Cuts and a top mid at the same time, but Penguin doesn't connect on that shot. Eco does connect on his. Trade of kills, 1-point game. The new sniper is up. 2 snipers now in the hands of Space Station.
Well, it's going to be very difficult here for Gamers First to weather the storm as Space Station has bounced back in this one, notching it up at 11. But like you said, Magic, 2 sniper rifles to work with. Now, the one good thing for Gamers First is that there's only 1 shot in Penguin's sniper rifle. However, that's all it takes to earn a kill, as we see Stellar earn himself that pivotal kill and regains SSG the lead.
I have to credit Gamers First. They might be down 1 point, but they haven't had sniper like at all this game, and we've seen snipe shot after snipe shot. What do the kids say? They're getting blamed? Is that the correct what the kids say these days?
That's an OG term.
Is that the OG term? Okay, I just thought it was like domed, like the shot to the head. Either way, Space Station have been putting on a clinic with the use of these 2 snipers. And look at Stellar now taking over the position that Penguin once held. The overshield is coming up. Gamers First fighting to win it over.
And another huge win for Boo Boo Doo on that overshield. Melee's going down for both he and his opponent, but he gets the better of SSG here and earns G1 that overshield. So Magic, we've seen all heatwave, all sniper for SSG, but it's been the overshield going in favor of Gamers First. When you look at that, it's about tied in terms of utilities used by both these 2 teams, and it's tied on the scoreboard as well.
Gamers First finding their break. Finally, Boo Boo Doo has that heat wave in hand with the last of that overshield dwindling off. A little bit of a 2-point lead here from Gamers First. They weathered the storm of those Space Station snipers, and here comes Falcated. He finds a kill. Penguin, though, on the response through Rat Tunnel, but can Penguin get away? He's getting pushed to the back of B. Gamers First, they line up a little body shot. Look at the grouping from Gamers First. They're all on that sandbags, that A side of the map. They are team firing to get this win.
Yeah, and it looks like Gamers First is going to give Sniper to Space Station all game if it means they can earn themselves that overshield. And so far, Magic, the strategy has worked out. Penguin, Stellar, and company looking for a way to break it, and there is the answer in the hands of Stellar. Great recognition by SSG. They know that Gamers First has gotten every single one of these overshields, so I'm expecting Stellar here to really play his life. He cannot go down. It sounds wild because he's got the plasma pistol. I'm talking about him like he's got the sniper in his hands, but with how many overshields we've seen for Gamers First, Stellar is going to be absolutely pivotal with that plasma pistol.
Here comes Stellar with the plasma pistol and the BR, finding a double kill. Getting back to just 1 point on the scoreboard. 1 point down is Space Station Gaming. The next sniper coming up in just 12 seconds. Bound with the commando, the rapid fire damage. Bound was nearly untouched in that engagement, lining up and lasering with the commando.
No surprise here, SSG playing for that sniper rifle. It's Penguin, in fact, on top of it, and the grenade is going to send him down. So an opportunity here for Gamers First. More so to not grab Sniper, but just to make sure that SSG doesn't have it. Suspector gonna make sure that happens here as he looks to take this Sniper back to the Sniper Tower, maybe potentially slow things down here as G1 has the narrow 1 kill lead here at the halfway mark.
I think we saw a switch. Penguin getting the overshield, so trading off of what had been locked in for the roll. Suspector gets the body shot, but he doesn't want to commit overly. The assist does come through. I was getting a little nervous there. The trust in teammates paying off, but Falcated is down. Bound has the heat wave in the bottom tunnel before he meets his death. Gamers First clawing back a 3-point lead. Suspector still having rounds left to work with in that sniper. If Gamers First can stop scrambling, they can stabilize and lock down this map.
And despite the switch in strategy, G1 now grabbing that sniper rifle, Space Station grabbing that overshield. It's more of the same as G1 maintains that 3-kill lead here. What Suspector can do with those 4 shots is going to be absolutely pivotal here as Stellar takes one to the knee. That might force G1 to push up towards Stellar, maybe chase, try to take him down, but no. Bound answers back. There's 2 top mid pushing together. This is going to be an opportunity here for SSG to take down Suspector. They do just that, and they look to clean it all up as Sab is the only one left remaining.
Space Station, 2 players at top mid. Both were very weakened, but they covered for each other. Both stay alive, and now Penguin back, like we saw at the beginning of the map, with a sniper at C Tower. He finds the head. He takes down the shot. Stellar is rotating. Penguin's trying to cover his teammate. He knows there's a player down at B pillars. It's the plasma pistol in the hands of Suspector. The team fire is going to take Suspector down as well. And we're reaching the final segment of this game. 31-29, Space Station Gaming overshield inbound.
Overshield inbound, and it just feels like the winner of this overshield could very well be the winner of this game as we see a pancake going down. Repulsor heat wave combination looking quite strong for Penguin, but no, Falcated takes him down. Eventually trades to Eco Smith. This one is all trades here, tied up 33-33.
The pancake metal, not just style, but also substance. Maybe it's a protein, a high protein pancake, because it's got a substantial. Let's see those emotes in the chat. What a great play.
Sab recognizing the plasma pistol usage from SSG, just barely dodges around that corner. Maintains use of that overshield. Bound using his hands to take down 2 for G1. Sab looking to find Bound. They know he's weak, but he's got help with that heat wave that's going to push Sab back. Great decision making there by Sab. Doesn't just fly into a 1v2 situation. Instead, decides to regroup, pulls the opposition into that big door with a waiting Boo Boo Doo.
Boo Doo now with the plasma pistol in hand. That was the recognition from Space Station to not overextend into that plasma pistol. Suspector taken down by Penguin. Penguin has been on a tear throughout this game. 12-6 with 8 assists on top of it. Boo Boo trying to re-engage in this fight, but Eco is ready with the heat wave. Takes him down. Space Station Gaming now with a 3-point lead.
And for the first time in this game, it's SSG with a 3-kill lead. What better time than as we head into the 40s, trade going out, Bound going down, 3 going down for SSG. So this is an opportunity here for G1. Penguin, last player alive. You're not going to see him move until his teammates spawn. I think Suspector and the rest of G1 know, though, that Penguin has the sniper rifle at B. Can they take him down? Can they regain control of that pivotal power weapon? Speaking of pivotal, the overshield is up. That's why Penguin's starting to rotate. The rest of SSG follows suit. So too does G1 on the opposing side. This is the overshield. We thought last overshield was the one. This could be very well be the overshield that determines the winner.
The final overshield of the game, and Penguin has a sight on it with that sniper as he scopes over right on cue. Falcated being the closest player from Gamers First. Boo Boo Doo Plasma Pistol. Oh no, Eco counters it with a perfect repulsor. Space Station with a 5-point lead. Penguin tries to line up the snipe, doesn't connect, but is bound with the overshield, pushing Gamers First. 2 players at the back of tower. He could jump down right behind him. Sam finds himself in the middle of a Space Station sandwich.
And this game was all but over, but the SSG overshield gets negated, but it's still a 6-kill lead for them. Gamers First clinging for their lives here in a game 5 that has been so close all throughout. Really the biggest lead we've seen all throughout this game has been right here. Can SSG hold on to it? Penguin gonna do the best he can with that sniper rifle to make sure that stays the case. 47-42, 48-42. SSG only need 2 more.
Oh no, the triple kill, the overkill for the win. It was right in front of him. It's going to be enough for an assist. And this game 5 was the Penguin show for Space Station Gaming. They move forward into the winners bracket finals. Gamer First are going to need to make their run through the lower bracket, because when it came down to this game 5, Penguin plus the sniper equaled the downfall of G1.
Yeah, and G1 was able to levy the storm for a little bit, push back against it, but it ended up being that dominant sniper rifle usage throughout that carried SSG to that victory. And really incredible when you look back at the game itself. They weren't in the lead. G1 held a pretty sturdy, strong lead. It was pretty much tied all the way to the halfway mark. And then G1 started to break away from it, up 3 into the 30s. And then that sniper rifle, the tried and true, was just too strong for the likes of Stellar and especially Penguin with that crucial headshot over at B. And as a result, SSG takes game 5 in the series.
What an incredible back and forth series between these two teams. I mean, really looking at it, both Slayers ended as that 50-43, but one for Gamers First, the other for Space Station. The only game that was really a dominant win was that opening game of the series. So great plays from both of them. What was the turning point? Do you feel like, obviously it's a full reverse sweep now that I'm looking at the series layout in front of us all in one picture. So was the turning point that Argyle CTF, or was it that crazy finish on Strongholds?
Yeah, I think you might look, if you're just looking at this, you might think it was that win on game 3, the 1-0 for SSG. But yeah, it has to come down to that crucial B cap point on Stronghold's recharge, where G1 forced out of B based on the damage, the grenades coming into the back of the pillars. They lose control of it. They lose control of that congestion. Eco stays in it with no shields and stays alive just long enough to keep SSG in it. Otherwise, Magic, we're looking at a 3-1 series victory for G1. So it's wild when you look at the fork in the road and just the absolute difference in direction that this series could have gone.
Right, little reverse sweep from Space Station Gaming, and you have to give full credit to Penguin. I wanted that overkill, like, more badly than I wanted any play, you know, maybe even more badly than I wanted the pancake play from earlier, because Penguin had been popping off throughout the game. I mean, even leading into this final play, he was the leading Slayer on the team, and then 1, 2, 3, the overkill right in front of him. I do think he ends up getting credit for that final assist, but honestly, great, you know, shout out again to the observers. The production team here at LVT Halo is truly unmatched. Nighty night on the Observer, watching Penguin to get that triple.